Okay, we are back with Tier 2 Blue Round 7 comms for ALR here at Fuji Speedway. Should be an interesting race. Looks annoyingly clear in the sky considering it can rain. Evening Deco. Where are you? Down in 8th. It's kind of standard for Porsches, I think. A teammate up in 5th. Yeah, so let's have a quick run through the grid. So we have Morsel on pole. He has a 56-point lead over Elian, who is not here this week. So Eroticos, I think in 3rd, is his closest title challenger, and he might be already out of it. Let me just check the points on that. See what Morsel needs to do to be champion this week or in this round. Evening, Alessandro. We've got so 84, so 2 points. So Morsel needs 2 points, one of which he's already got for pole position. So I think this is going to be a bit of a formality for Morsel. Unfortunately, we are now fighting for P2 in the championship. But it shows just how good of a season he's had. He's basically got it wrapped up before this round almost. Evening, Colin. So with no Elian, we've got Carter, who has probably been his closest challenger, or has been one of his closest challengers when he's raced. He's only a reserve this season, so he's up in 2nd. Then we've got Orozco's currently top 3 in the championship. Got a good chance of getting into P2 potentially, with Elian not being here in 3rd. Scotty having a really good qualifying up in 4th. Kind of dropped off in the middle couple of rounds. Tracks that didn't suit the Lambo too well, and his dislocated thumb, I think it was. So yeah, he's having a bit of a bounce back in this one. MR cars should be pretty good around here. Senor Fak in the Porsche also doing well up in 5th. Then we've got Ariedi, which is, I'm going to just call him Aries, which I know is his Discord. He's in the Honda as well, so teammates to Carter. It might be his first race. I think he qualified at Road Atlanta but didn't race because of connection problems. So we'll get to see what he can do in a race. Got Ross up in 7th, which is kind of more around where he was at the start of the season. Had a similar kind of drop off in the middle, back up to 7th, which that's good from Ross. They're looking to wrap up the Constructors' Championship as well. Then we've got Deco, as we mentioned already, in 8th. Kind of been around there all season, but he's going to struggle off the line again in the Porsche. Not so good off the grid. We have Ellie in 9th, which I'd say is slightly below average, although the Lexus did get nerfed in this update. We had a BOP update the Thursday before this race. So this is the first one with a slightly altered BOP. The Lexus got hit. I don't think actually the Jaguar got a buff, which is just absurd to me. But yeah, I'm not complaining. And the Lexus did get a nerf. The AMG, I believe, was untouched. So Prime Call down in 10th is a little bit surprising. He's been having some really good qualifying the last couple of rounds. Not got his teammate here to back him up in the Constructors' Championship. Then we've got Thrall, who is back after one round missing. He's in the Supra. Didn't qualify too well here, which is not particularly surprising, I wouldn't say. Oh, I hope so. I hope it's going to cook Daytona. But I'm not very good there, so we will see. He's still got a chance, at least. Then we actually got Spin in 12th. Still kind of struggling to get to grips with the McLaren a little bit. Then we've got Asador and his teammates. This is quite bad qualifying for the Corvettes. Maybe the Corvettes really not liking this track because Asador in particular has usually been higher up than that. Pyro, kind of surprising that Pyro's down in 14th. He's been doing a lot better than that as well. But it is quite possible to pick up penalties, so maybe they had a bad qualifying and they can come through in the sprint race. Yeah, I can imagine. Super not particularly great. We are off. The Jag it looks like it's actually getting caught off the start by Carter there. Carter's got the inside. He's going to send it on turn 1. Yeah, he is. Gets to the inside. Moore's going to be able to hold it around the outside, maybe? He's dropped into second for now, but he's got the inside for this corner. Still going side by side. Nice racing there, left room. Mikada's got the inside for this long right-hander, and he's going to be able to move into the lead. And we've actually got Arias up into P3 already. So we know that NSX has got off the line. Ross is up into 5th as well, so that's a couple of positions gained for him. Senor Fac only down 1 position. I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that in the Porsche. Roscoe's going to be quite disappointed down in 7th. He's lost 4 positions. And Primecool actually up to 7th. He's having a fight with Roscoe's. But these guys were nowhere near each other on the grid. Got Peach up into 9th. There must have been some sort of chaos down at the back. Peach is up 5, 6 positions. Roscoe's and Primecool still going side by side. Looks like Roscoe's going to be able to finally lock this position down. And we've got Ellie going for the move on Peachy. They're still going side by side. And we've got Peachy just staying there on the inside. And manages to get back ahead, and he's now completely ahead. Let's have a quick look back to the front, because I suspect the Jag will be going to be going for a move into turn 1. Because it does have some ridiculous top speed now. Even more so after the update. Goes to the outside. Looks like he's definitely braked a lot later than Carter did. Was that someone in the background going off? It was, and that's... Was that a mistake maybe, or was there some contact? It looked like he was just way too late on the brakes. It's a bit of a weird one. I think maybe the lag making it look even stranger than it was. But that's probably Scotty up into P3. Morsel didn't actually manage to get the move done. Carter sticking to the inside and getting back past into turn 2. Looks like he was thinking about a move there. Ross up into 4th. So this is great for Ross, great for Team Jaguar in the Constructors' Championship. And, those areas going wide. Is that going to be a penalty? It's hard to tell with the lag. It could potentially be a penalty. Doesn't look like it. That's... yeah. That's not good. Let's skip off that, because I can sense some carnage coming in that area. Like that, it's already happened. So, we've got Ross up into P4, yeah. I can see the car just going flying in the background. Oh dear. That is a connection for all time. Ooh, Ross having a twitch on the exit, but he's pulled a gap on Senor Fac. Are the top 2 close together? Actually, Carter's managed to pull away. So, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to come under threat from Morsel. Scotty's actually closed into these guys, and he has set the fastest lap. Only slightly faster than Carter, so not the best lap there from Morsel, who's in 8/10 on that lap. But he probably knows that since Elian isn't here, he's basically got this sewn up already. So this is not going to be a championship drive, I guess. It's go out and do the absolute best you can, because there's not really anything to lose. Yeah, and that's actually going to require Roscoe's, even if Morsel doesn't score any points. Roscoe's needs max points. So he's basically got this wrapped up already. And it looks like we've got some battling in the background. Look like the teammates going side by side. Asseldo's made up some progress. It was Peachy who made the insane start up like 6 positions. And now Asseldor has gained those positions as well and has made his way past his teammate. Are they going to keep fighting into this hairpin or the chicane? Like it was Spin thinking about going for a move, but he's got half-second penalty. Peach is going a little bit deep. Spin trying to go around the outside, but has to slot back in. And you still see Arias in the background, and that was Peachy having a spin. Looked like he was just on his own, didn't look like there was any contact there. And now Ellie's having to deal with Arias' connection problems. And honestly, the guys in front are going to have to deal with them as well, given how much he's moving around. But we've got the teammates together. So up here, McLaren's up to P9 and P10. Spin is about to lose probably at least a couple of positions, even though it's just a half-second penalty. That promotes Deco back up into the top 10. Is Spin going to be able to stabilise in 11th? Not quite. Gets overtaken by Throttle as well. But thinks about going for the move. But backs out of it and slots in behind in 12th. And then we've got Pichi off on the back. Ellie is now past Ariez into P13, and then we've got Pichi down in 15th after his spin. Let's have a look at the lead. Carter setting the fastest lap on the last lap. Morse setting a PB, but still losing 3/10. And Scotty's basically matching Morsel. So these guys are kind of holding station. Carter's starting to build a small gap. We shouldn't be worried about tyre wear in this one, in the sprint race. Especially with the MR cars. They do handle this track really well. It looks like all these guys are pretty spread out, so let's go and find out where the battle is. It looks like it's probably for P9 between Pyro, Deco and Throttle. Throttle only one position outside of the reverse grid for the feature race. And he's in the Super, which is pretty quick on the straights, especially compared to the Porsche. McLaren's not bad, it's just its acceleration's not good. And they're closing up onto P8 actually, so this is going to become a four-way fight for P8 potentially. Look like Pyro's a little bit too far back. He's still going to be getting a little bit of slipstream help. Sets a PB. And it might be helping him keep ahead of Deco. Doesn't look like anybody's going for the move. Pyro looks a lot later on the brakes than Hasselhoff, goes a little bit wide. But it doesn't really cost you too much time unless you go extremely wide. Which is surprisingly easy to do. Slowing down from a really high speed to really low speed. Oh, and a second penalty for Pyro. That's going to cost him all of these positions. So if I was Deco, just sit behind Pyro, don't try and fight him. You've got a free position in half a lap's time, basically. And Throttle looks like he's having to defend from Spin in the background. Spin going to the outside. The Throttle covers it off nicely on the inside. And this is kind of a one-line section. You can go side by side. It's really tricky though. And we've got Ellie coming onto the back of this group. So it's almost going to become a six-way fight, potentially even seven-way fight for P8. And the first few positions of this battle are going to be massive because they are the reverse grid positions for the feature race. So Hasselhoff has got Pyro behind, about to serve his 1 second penalty. Serves it now. Is he going to lose all of these positions? Down to 11th, down to 12th, 13th. Looks like he's probably going to start getting involved with Ariez in the background as well, and he does. But let's stick with this. We've got Ellie looking to go for the move around the outside of Spin. Spin's actually sending it down the inside of Throttle. That goes way too deep. Throttle just really unlucky there, getting piled into by Ellie, who was forced wide by Spin. And that's cost him a couple of positions. And yeah, they're just giving as much space as they possibly can to Ariez in 11th. Ellie up into 10th. And if he can pull away and hold on to that reverse grid pole position, you're probably pretty happy with that. But he needs to get away from these guys as soon as possible. Looks like Ariez is thinking about going for the move, backs out of it. And looks like Ellie's relatively safe through this section in 10th. Deco is closed right onto the back of Hasselhoff. And Deco did qualify in 8th, so this is basically around where he should be. And Hasselhoff is actually the one that's made up a lot of positions. So a stick on this battle. Can Deco in the slipstream get the Porsche past the Corvette? Probably quite a big difference in top speed, but the Porsche should still be able to do it with him being this close in the slipstream. Although that Corvette has absolutely driven away on the exit of that corner. Yeah. That is crazy. Maybe the Corvette got buffed. I didn't actually check. It's possible the Corvette got buffed because that exit was insane. Because Deco was right behind him, so maybe Deco's going to have to get creative in one of these in the middle sector to get this move done. So they're going a little bit wide. You can just see how much is being held up in this section, and then Hasselhoff just drives away on the straights. Ooh, can he get to the inside and get on the power early? Keeps it really tight. But he's not ahead and he's not even alongside. I think he's going to have to send it into one of these corners. We'll stick with this one to the exit onto the back straight again, because I'm curious if Hasselhoff gets the same exit again. You expect Deco to be able to keep pretty close through this section. It's just about how good his exit is from the last corner. You can see he's taking so much tighter lines. Ooh, that would look close to maybe a penalty for Hasselhoff. Looks like he's got away with it. Little bit of a twitch. And these guys finds actually allowing Arias, who's up into 10th in front of Elliott, close onto the back of this battle. And Deco looks closer this time. Is he going to be getting enough benefit from the slipstream to possibly go for a move? Doesn't even look like he's closing in that much. No, can't go for the move. Can't get to the inside, has to stay behind. If he's struggling that much to close in on the straight, the only place he's got to be able to go for a move is this middle sector. Or rely on a bad exit for Hasselhoff out of the final corner. Can he send it down the inside? No, Hasselhoff's kind of closing that off. Is he going to go around all the way around the outside now? Can use all the track on the exit, but still can't get alongside. But he's close here. Hasselhoff's surely going to defend this to the inside. Not really. Can Deco get up the inside? No, he can't. And now he's starting to have to think about defending as well. So this is not good for Deco. He's just... Ooh, I thought he was going for a move there, but this is just getting harder and harder with the guys closing in behind him. And this is now going to be a five-way fight again, with all these guys closing up. It looks like we've lost the... We've not lost the McLarens, they're both just slightly off the back of this group. Looks like everyone's starting to have twitches coming out of that last corner. Okay, he's close again, but we've seen him not really gain in the slipstream. Hasselhoff's actually on mediums. Well, that would explain why he's being held up in the middle sector. I didn't actually notice that. Oh, that was Ellie going for a late move to the inside. Doesn't manage to get it though, but I think he got past Arias there. Still, this has got to be really frustrating for Deco with Hasselhoff on mediums. He's not going to be able to rely on his tyres going off either. But I was kind of surprised Hasselhoff had to go for the mediums in the sprint race anyway. Deco's trying to go around the outside again. I mean, that's the only way he's got to get past. He's got to be able to use his corner speed somewhere to set something up. We'll watch it into this hairpin, see if Deco manages to get the move done. Goes to the inside, but he's not alongside. And Hasselhoff holds on to 8th. I'm actually going to jump to the front because they look pretty close. It's not giving us any gaps, but Scotty is right on the back of Mortal. Onto the straight. Scotty's got the slightly better front tyres. Carter is going full defensive all the way to the inside. Mortal not really looking for the slipstream completely. Ross still holds on to P4 in the background. He's coming under pressure as well. So these look guys spaced out a little bit. So let's have a look with this. Can Center of Fact do anything about the Jag on the straight? He's trying. Look like he's having better chance against the Jag than the Corvette. But can't get alongside. And Roy goes on to this battle as well. So a three-way fight for P4 and a three-way fight for the lead. Mortal having to go slightly defensive into that corner. And you can tell Scotty's getting better exits, maybe just because he can get the car rotated better. Carter's not really come under immense pressure apart from on the first couple of laps. Although he looked like he went a little bit wide there. Is that going to open the door for anyone? No, it looks like Scotty's the closest to making a move here on Mortal. Sends it a late one, just squeeze it down the inside. He's going to have the outside for this next corner. And he's not going to be able to hold it all the way around outside. Mortal goes a little bit deep, just covering off that inside now. How defensive is Mortal going to go into the final corner? Basically not all. He's just covering that sort of middle of the road. And should be able to get this to the line with the Jag top speed. But Carter, who has led pretty much start to finish, took the lead on lap 1. And he's going to come across and take the win in the sprint race. Mortal's going to take his P2, and that is enough for the championship. Scotty's going to round out the podium in 3rd. Ross going to hold on to P4, so a great day for Jaguar. Ross up a few positions. So in fact losing out to Eroticos on the last lap, and we've got a spin in the background. Oh, it was throttle. Yeah, it was good pace from Carter. So throttle, unfortunately, making a mistake there right at the end. Prime call over in 7th. Asseldor does hold on to 8th, and Deco actually drops down to 10th. So he does manage to keep the feature pole, but he lost a few positions there at the end. Maybe caught up with throttle potentially in that last corner. Not sure what exactly happened there. But yeah, that was I had a pen. Oh, that's unlucky. That's the worst time to pick it up. Especially when you're in such a tight group. But yeah, that is it for the sprint race. We'll have to keep an eye out for weather potentially. It's just we were on the throttle. It's unfortunate. I'm not sure what position you were in, because that could have potentially, it's definitely cost you a few starting positions, because you dropped down to last in the end. Ooh, is that? It's not damp. Looks a little bit shiny, but I don't think it's actually a wet track. So we have a lot of different strategy options here, and it is looking a bit overcast, so it could rain. You weren't playing, so it didn't matter that much. Okay, so not that unlucky, but still unlucky. Deco, kind of lucky, gets a pole position for this one, starting on the mediums. Makes sense, he's just going to try and drive off into the distance. The cars behind him going on a similar strategy. So, Arias also going for the mediums. So the top two are going to look to drive away if they can. Asolo going on the hards, which makes sense. We know he struggled with tyre wear. He's probably going to be doing the one-stop hard to medium. Prime call, the AMG team have tended to be doing the same strategy. Senor Fak on the medium, so he's got a couple of hard runners ahead of him that he's going to want to get past. But he's probably going to struggle because there is Asseldor in the Corvette. And we've seen the Porsche struggle all of that sprint race, try and get past. Didn't even manage it, I don't think. Then we've got Roskos on the hards. We've got Ross starting on the mediums, Scotty on mediums, Mossel going on the hards. So I think this is more committing to a... Well, actually, no, you can go hard, soft, one stop potentially. I've seen it mentioned. I haven't seen anyone, don't know that anyone did it. And Carter's going on the hards, so potentially doing the same. Then we've got Ellie on the hards, Spin and Pyro on the mediums. McLaren does have good tyre wear, so they could be trying a one-stop medium soft, or they could be going for a two-stop. Two-stop is an option. It works out relatively even, I think, over the course of the race. Then we've got Thrall, who actually didn't drop to last, dropped to P14. And then Peachy starting out the back on the hard tyres, which makes sense. This is where I started. You're better off just going on the hard tyres, try and profit from anyone else's mistakes in front of you. So, let's get this kicked off. I'll just keep an eye on the weather, because if it starts raining, that could throw a real spanner in the works. Porsche luckily getting significantly better rolling starts than it does standing starts. So Vico should be able to hold this into turn 1. And actually that acceleration on the Corvette is making Asseldorf think about going for the move for P2 already. Looks like he's fully alongside, but he's going to have the outside and he's on the harder tyre. So yeah, Aria's just deeper on the brakes, manages to hold that position. Oh, does he? Got Asseldorf on the inside. Arias can't afford to be losing positions to the hard runners. He started in front of him, he needs to use the grip while he's got it. And it looks like he has now, and he's pulled away a little bit, and now Prime Call is right onto the back of Asseldorf. So in fact, not all over the back of these guys, but he should be closing up pretty quickly. It's a question of, is he going to be able to slipstream past the AMG on the straights? Because the AMG is pretty quick as well. Not really in the same league as the Corvette. And he's got the Jag behind him of Ross, who's also on the medium tyres. So he's going to come under threat as well as trying to make his way forward. Is Ross going for a late move to the inside? Does, but Sinifat gets the better exit. And crucially, he's still close enough to Prime Call to maybe get this move into turn 1. He might be better off just bump drafting Prime Call down the straights and then trying to outbrake him into turn 1. Otherwise he's going to risk Ross getting a slipstream run on both of them and getting a 2 for 1. But Sinifat to the inside, gets it down to the apex, gets it rotated with the better grip. Ross follows him through as well. So Prime Call losing a couple of positions on the hard tyres, and now this is going to be the real challenge, is can they get past Asseldorf in the Corvette? Thought that was Asseldorf's wiper on there for a second, thought it was going to start raining. But luckily for these guys at the moment it is not raining. So in fact taking a really wide line, trying to get a good run, and he's now right on the back of Asseldorf. He's pulled out to the outside, he's going to have to pull back in and get back in the slipstream. He's going to be able to send it into here. No, backside of it. Actually, it looked like Asseldorf's actually gone deep, so they're sending it back to the outside, and he gets left space. Is Ross going to be able to follow him through? It looks like he might be. To the inside, Ross just squeezing him out of room. And Asseldorf down to 6. That is massive for Ross and for Senor Fat getting past these guys on the hard tyres. And is that Scotty doing the same? He is. Scotty getting it to the inside nicely. But he's surely going to come under threat now from Asseldorf. With the slipstream, he's going to be able to draft back past. He's right behind. Scotty goes defensive already. But Asseldorf is already through. And is that going to allow Prime Call to come through in the slipstream of Asseldorf? Not quite. But Scotty's going to outbrake Asseldorf into turn 1, and actually Prime Call's going to do the same. So Prime Call just following him through there. Asseldorf has got the straight line speed though, he's got to the inside. These guys are both on the same tyres. But Prime Call manages to hold it around the outside. Really nice there. Then we've got Roskos, who has... Where did he finish? P5? So he's lost a couple of positions. But he is on the hard tyres, so he lost the position to, I think, just Ross and Scotty, maybe, coming through on the mediums. And then we've got these guys on the hards, and the McLaren's at the back, starting on the mediums. They're starting to get held up now. Carter going for the move on Mortal. Power was trying to go around the outside at the same time, so it didn't really work out for him. And we've got some kind of incident for Spin in the background, who's now in last. So that is not good for him on his medium tyres. And Throttle's actually on mediums as well. So Throttle's going to be looking to get through, and the Supra does have good straight line speed. Looks very twitchy though. So we've got a big little slipstream train. Who is going to be able to go for the move? Mortal possibly saving fuel. He looks like he's closing in on the Honda, but not by much. McLaren's actually getting closer to Mortal than he was to Carter. Pyro's trying to go all the way around the outside, and looks like he might be able to make this work. No, not quite. Almost. He was alongside for a long time. But that Jag has got some good acceleration to defend out of the corners. McLaren, not really its strong suit. It looks like our champion is in a gold livery for this, so I think he knows he's won the championship. He's just trying to defend from Pyro, and he's doing it well so far. Ooh, there's a big slide there from Mortal. Is that going to open the door for Pyro? Pyro going to the outside again. Oh, and it looked like Throttle was having a cheeky look up the inside. Almost caught the guys napping. But they've all dropped back into the positions they were in. Let's have a quick move up the order. So, these are the guys that are on the hard tyres. Medium tyre runners are all into the top 5 now, which is great for their races. Deco is just quite nice there in front. He's not under threat from behind. As the tyres looking like. Same on the front, a little bit better on the rears than the NSX, which makes sense. But Arias is going pretty quick, but Deco's just taken the fastest lap with a 40.4. So he's got good pace. So in fact doing basically the same pace as his teammate. So is Ross, and Scotty didn't have the best one on the last lap, but he's now right onto the back of Ross. So I imagine he was possibly getting held up a little bit because he did a 5.7 the lap before. And he's going purple. Does have some help from the slipstream to do that in sector 1. And these guys are on the same tyres, so it's only the driver's pace that's going to help him get this move done. He's not right onto the back of Ross. That acceleration giving Ross a nice little buffer into the chicane. Doesn't look like he's going to come under threat here. But Scotty closes in massively on the brakes. And this tight twisty section is where you would expect the Lambo to be stronger. I think Ross going a little bit defensive there to the inside. Because the fastest way to do these corners is to go to the outside and focus on the corner exits. Which obviously if you're defending you can't really do because you're just opening the inside for the car behind. It looked like Ross had a little bit of a twitch on the exit. Scotty's right behind him in the slipstream. Is Scotty going to be able to close in and go for the move? Ross is already going defensive. Scotty pulls to the outside. Does break a lot later than Ross. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Tried it, but Ross managing to move across and cover off the inside for turn 2. Scotty trying to do the switchback on Ross. It looks like he's ahead, but he's got the outside for this long right-hander. But he's going to set him up nicely on the inside if he can keep it on track. Which he does. I did not think he was going to get that position there. I thought he'd lost too much time going on the grass a little bit. But he's up into 4th position. Now can he pull away in this final sector? Because he will come under threat from the Jag otherwise into turn 1. So I had a little bit of a slide there from Ross maybe. Heard there's some tyre squeal. And look how much Scotty's pulled away in this section. Which is what you would expect, but that is a big gap he's building up, but he goes wide. Is that going to be enough to allow Ross back into the slipstream? Ross has been taking this inside line, so this might just be his line to take a little bit of a tighter line. Doesn't really need an amazing run out of the last corner because of how good the acceleration is. I don't know if that's going to be close enough. Tyres are looking slightly worse on the front. Yeah, he's not going to be able to close that gap in to go for the move. So crucially, that is enough for Scotty to hold on. We've got, I think, Peachy pitting in the background. I'm not sure what strategy he's doing. Let's have a look. What tyres is he on? He's on the hard tyres. So maybe he's going hard, medium, medium. That is my only guess as to what strategy he's doing. But then we've got Spin, who's starting to close onto the back of Ellie. Had some kind of problem on lap 3, lost 8 seconds. And Spin is on the mediums, so he's closing pretty quickly on Ellie, who's on the hards. Got Thrall, who's actually got the same tyre wear on the mediums as Ellie does on the hards, so that's Supra really cooking its tyre. He said it felt like a boat, and that's kind of the trademark tyre wear of a boat. Pyro's still not been able to get past Morsel on his medium tyres, and he's going to start dropping off in performance. But we've actually got a battle up ahead. We've got Carter trying to make his way through the other hard runners. So Carter now up into a P2 of the hard runners. He's still coming under pressure from Hasseldor, and we know that the Corvette is quick on the straights, a little bit of a slide, but he's still right there. He is short shifting, but that is how you drive the Corvette. Ooh, Hasseldor desperately wants to get to the inside, and he's managed it just. Carter was trying to cover that off completely. And ooh, there's a little bit of contact. Maybe Hasseldor just getting squeezed out onto the AstroTurf a little bit, and that's what's cost him that exit. We've got Morsel up past the Rotkos into P9. Rotkos looked like he was trying to get to the inside of Morsel there, but he couldn't quite manage it. But he's done it there, but Morsel should be able to get the better exit out of this corner, and he's going to have the inside into the chicane. And he manages to hold it anyway, but he's right on the back of Hasseldor. Is he going to look to a move to the inside? Hasseldor's not defending. We've seen him do that in the sprint race. Don't know whether he doesn't feel he needs to, or he just doesn't want to waste time defending. Looks like he overshot the corner though. Did he have any help with that, or was he just a mistake? Don't think it was Morsel, because Morsel was to the inside of him. I'm not sure. I think he was just letting everyone go. A bit of a weird one. Maybe he prefers just to sit on the back of everyone. Weird decision. We've seen him lead trains around plenty of times before. Well, that does promote everyone up a position. And Carter's got a bit of a gap to Morsel now, who's still got Pyro behind him. Not been able to get this move done on the softer compounded tyres. Looks like Throttle was kind of close to Rotkos there. Is Throttle going to be able to go for the move? Definitely closing in. Pulls to the inside. And outbrakes him. As long as he gets to the apex, which he does. Going to be able to hold on to this. Oh, a bit of a snap on the exit. Going to allow Rotkos back alongside, but he's being forced to the outside. And he backs out of it. Can he go for a switchback? No, he can't. And Rotkos on the hard tyres. Not that different to throttles in terms of wear. These guys are just settling down, and we've got, looks like things are closing up a little bit at the front. Not much though. Vico's still got a lead. So in fact, he's closing onto Arias. It looks like he's lagged calmed down a little bit. So it looks a little bit safer. Yeah, you are in the boat club, Orozcos, especially after the update. Extra weight on the car that already roasts its tyres is not a nice combination. Look like Arias made a bit of a mess of the exit. Can Innovac make it a 1-2 for Team Porsche? Team Porsche are still on, I think, on the very outside of a chance at the Constructors' Championship. Excuse me. And a 1-2 would be massive. Might not be enough to keep them in the fight, but it's been a while since I've commentator's cursed someone. He's in 5th, he could have been worse. Can he hold the position ahead of the hard runners? He's got some damage, and he's got dirty tyres. Don't pick up a penalty, no, it looks okay. I reckon it was going a little bit wide. Hopefully he can stabilise this in P5 still, but that's cost him probably around 10 seconds. And we've got Pyro's made the move on Morsel, finally. Can he seal it? Doesn't look like it. Looks like Morsel with the acceleration has managed to get back ahead. He's still frustrating Pyro. It's been 10 laps pretty much. Pyro's been sat behind him. And Pyro not pulling to the inside to try and go for the move. Still just having to sit behind. And you just see how easy it is for him to sit behind in this tight, twisty section. Ooh, I'm not sure if there's a little bit of contact there, but he's managed to get to the inside, but not really being able to use it. But he's close in the slipstream. I've got Arias in already. 10 laps. That could be a one-stop potentially. We'll have a check on what tyres he comes out on. Yeah, and Pyro's just... He's starting to close now. Top speed of the McLaren is not too bad, it's just the acceleration. He's to the inside. Can he get this move done? He's got through, but can Morsel use the acceleration to come around him again? He's been forced to the outside this time, so it's going to be a lot harder to defend from this position. And he does back out of it. I don't think Pyro really gave him much of a choice there. Going super deep on the brakes to make sure he was ahead. And he managed to get to the inside. He looks like he's got this position for now. But those tyres really starting to look worn in comparison to Morsel's hards. Well, Mo just had to keep going straight there because he was almost into the back of Pyro. Those tyres are actually looking okay now. They were quite similar to, I think they were similar to Pyro's, but they're actually looking better now on the Supra. Got at least a few more laps left in them. Well, he's not going to try and chuck it to the inside there, so let's check on what tyres. Okay, so he's gone on to softs. So he's definitely doing a two-stop. Come right behind Elliot on old hard, so he's going to want to get this move done quickly. Should be able to. So he's going for 7 laps on the softs and then another 7 laps on the softs to finish this race. Which I think is the strategy, or like the lap splits for the two-stop. As he's got to the outside, Ellie's defending this position. To the inside, Arias trying to go all the way around the outside. He's surely going to have the better traction, but Ellie actually managed to hold on to that position. These carriers have got to be thinking about going for the move in this infield section. He's got so much more grip, but he looks like he's really sliding the NSX around these corners. And he's close here. Is Ellie going to defend this to the inside? Yes, is the answer. Not completely though. But basically forces Arias to the outside. Ellie goes a little bit deep. Arias trying to go all the way around the outside. Just about left space, and it looks like he's going to be able to get this move done into the final sector. And he does. So nice move there to get up into P11. And he's going to come up to spin relatively quickly. Be interesting to see who else, if anybody, is coming in, because he's going to encounter a lot of traffic potentially if they're not coming in. I think there was a Royal coming in off the hards, Primeco's in off the hards, Sinofac's in off the mediums, so maybe going for the... He might have been trying to go for the one-stop medium to soft, but after the spin and it cooked his tyres, he might have to go onto the hards now, because he can't go 12 laps on the soft tyre. At least staying out on the hard tyres. Arias obviously on the two-stop, spin, throttle, mortal, pyro, staying out on the softs. Ross staying out on the softs as well. They're looking pretty worn now. And Scotty's actually caught up to Deco, so Scotty's potentially going to be going for the move soon. Front tyres pretty similar. Deco's rear tyres looking better. But Scotty has gained a lot of positions to close this gap. Deco started P1, Scotty P8. And he's right on the back of Deco. And they need to go another 3 laps if they're going to try the one-stop medium to soft. So are they going to come in this lap and go onto the hards instead? Or are they going to try and make the medium soft one-stop work? Scotty doesn't look like he's coming in. He's not over that line, so he's definitely staying out. I don't know if those tyres can do 3 more laps. But Scotty's going to get himself into the... try and get himself into the lead regardless. Gets to the inside. Can he get it stopped? Yeah. Gets it around the corner nicely. Managed to hold on to that position. So Scotty up into the lead from P8. And can he drive away now? And crucially, can he go 3 more laps on these tyres? Because if he was going onto the hards, I think this would be the crossover point. When the mediums are this worn. Ross has gone onto hard tyres, come out in P7. Yes, he is out in P7. Hasseldor has pitted on lap 9. So that might have actually been when he moved out of the way, which would make some sense if he wanted to guarantee he could get into the pits. Because if you've got someone alongside you, you get a bit stuck. Not sure, but he's out on the mediums. So he's going for a hard medium strategy. We saw his teammate do pretty much the same thing. A couple of laps earlier he came in though. And he's currently up into 12th. The Roscars, pretty sure he's going to the end. Yeah, he must be going to the end on those medium sides. Not a lot of fuel, especially compared to Prime Call, but that is the Lexus still being crazy on the fuel. But his teammates put a lot more in. So, Roscars must be doing some fuel saving, I think, to get that to the end. Mortal out on fresh mediums as well, having a fight with Sinofac, who's out on the hard tyres. And those 10 seconds he lost for the spin is really going to cost him early on, because he's now right in front of the guys that are coming out on the mediums on the quicker tyre. And he would have had a nice buffer without that spin. And we've got Carter, who has pulled away from Morsel, winner of the sprint race. Sets a new PB, so a couple of tenths off the fastest lap. Asseldor, we know, has got to come in again. Ross is on the hard tyres, so he's definitely going to get caught by Carter, who's not that far behind already. Then we've got a big gap to, I think these guys spin. We know Arietti's doing the 2-stop. And should be able to get past Royal here with the superior traction. He is on the outside though. Is he going to try and send it around the outside or maybe set up for a switchback? We've seen him go around the outside of this second part of the chicane once. Can't get it done there. And he's just got to try and set something up in this sequence of corners. Managed to get to the inside. Got to give him the outside into the final corner though. And it looked like a bit of a bad exit there for Throttle. Is Arietti just going to sit in the slipstream? No, he's going to pull out immediately. Can the Supra just keep pulling away with its superior top end speed? It looked pretty close. And he's surely got to send down the brakes. Yeah, he's got going to have so much more grip to get the car stopped. Yeah, and he does manage to get that move done up into P4. This is really a race for position because they've got the same amount of fuel and they've all got to pit again. Ooh, these guys are pushing it. Who's closest? Pyro is really close to running out of tyre. Really close. Andy's going through this long right-hander now. That's really going to kill it. Ooh, going to be like half a lap. Maybe on the dead tyre. This is going to cost him massively. His teammate does have some tyres left. Actually, no, that's not his teammate. His teammate does have tyres left, but he's a bit further behind. His Throttle is going to be the first to capitalise on this. And Pyro's actually going to struggle to even get the car stopped. That's how much of a difference it's going to make. Can Throttle get this position done? Yeah, you can see just how hard it is for Pyro to get the car turned. Got Throttle to the outside. Is he going to go all the way around? He's still got the inside for the final corner, and with no tyre on the front, Pyro's not going to be able to challenge him into that. That's probably cost him a couple of seconds, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out, if he comes out anywhere near anyone that he could have potentially been in front of. And he's actually going to maybe struggle to get it slowed down for the pit lane. Doesn't though, managed to get it in pretty nicely. Deco and Scotty are both in. They're definitely going to be going on to the soft tyres. 49% fuel, 48% for Deco. And Scotty did manage to pull away, and they are the net P1 and P2 by quite a distance over Ross, who is currently P3, but coming under pressure from Asseldor and Carter. Asseldor trying to go around the outside. Actually looks like he's going to get overtaken by Carter potentially. Manages to get to the inside and get the car turned. Carter is on the fresher tyres. But Asseldor definitely not wanting to give up that position easily. But doesn't manage to take the position into turn 2. So Carter, I think he's definitely going to get Ross. The Honda's pretty quick in the straights, not as quick as the Jag, but the slipstream will definitely be enough to get that move, and that might be a penalty for Ross, which will solve him all the problems anyway. It's not a penalty, so Ross getting off the throttle or not being quick enough off the track for the game to give him a penalty. Kind of trying to force Carter out wide. Might have been a bit unintentional because he had slightly dirty tyres. But Carter looks like he's going to have this position into this corner because he's got the inside. And Ross goes wide on the brakes. There's actually his teammate who's come up into P5. So Mott's just kind of come out of nowhere onto the back of this group, and now he's actually challenging, but he makes a mistake. Has to go a little bit wide to leave room for his teammate. And can Motto have a go at Carter? He's got fresher tyres. Arias is in off the soft tyres, going to be going on to another set. But he's got fuel to put in as well, so he's going to lose a lot of positions, but he's going to be coming back on the faster tyre. These guys, whoa, Asseldor going really deep on the brakes there. Managed to keep it on track though, luckily. So it didn't actually cost him any positions. Ooh, is that maybe a penalty for Carter going a little bit too wide? No, it doesn't look like it. It was very close to going off there and getting a penalty. Can Morsel get on the podium in the feature race to wrap up the championship with a double podium? He's still close, still got the better tyres. He's got less fuel, so he might be having to do a little bit of fuel saving. Ooh, that's a half-second penalty for Carter, so that's the free position there for Mole up onto the podium. And they're both pulling away from Ross, who's struggling on his hard tyres. Roscoe's making his way forward on the mediums as well. So let's watch this move. Carter's actually got a really good last turn. It's not going to be enough to keep him ahead though. But he manages to pull back into the slipstream, so that's Asseldor coming in for his second stop. Timed that perfectly with the fuel coming in on 0. So can Morsel pull away? He's managed to stick with Carter in the sprint race. Pico actually taking the fastest lap with the soft tyres, 39.6. Can he potentially try and mount a challenge to Scotty? Try and go after the win maybe? We've got a massive gap over these guys in the battle for P3. And Carter is not giving up on it by any means, sticking right with Morsel. While just having a little bit of a snap there. NSX looking more planted on the exits. Being sent to the outside. Is he going to try and go all the way around the outside? We try and strike with Ross. Yeah, but gives up on that one. On the same tyre, it's even harder to try and get that move done. It looks like Mole's held on for now, but these guys aren't pulling away from Ross on the hards that much. Which is a little bit surprising. They're starting to get, well, I wouldn't even say they're starting to get close. Actually, Carter's getting such a better rotation out of the Honda. He's just driven on the inside of Morsel in the final corner. Probably going to lose out on the straight. And he is doing. Pulls back into the slipstream. But he's stuck really well this lap to Morsel. And he's going to have a chance into turn 1. A little bit of concept. We've got Roscoe's going for the move in the background as well. And Carter manages to retake that P3. And Roscoe's manages to get P5 in the background as well. And he's Ross trying to go for the move. Thinking about it, but on the hard tyres. Going to struggle to get that move done against Roscoe's on mediums. Ooh, Carter's just going a little bit too deep in that long right-hander. Moore was thinking about chucking it up the inside. Couldn't quite get far enough alongside to do it. And it really looks like it's the final corner, or certainly the final section of corners, where Morsel is losing out. Just struggling to get the car turned. Which is a little bit surprising because he's got the better tyres. You'd think that'd balance out a little bit better with the Honda. But he's still managing to stick with him. Neither of these guys are able to get away from the other. Car's going super wide in the penultimate corner. And you can see that sets him up for a much better exit. But he goes wide there. Is that going to... not the line he's been using. He's been using the tight inside to get the car turned and then get a good exit, and that's going to put him under threat from Morsel again. So maybe Morsel can get the move done into turn 1 this time. And he does. He manages to pull to the inside. He's going to be completely ahead or just alongside? It's just alongside. Managed to get it nicely down to the apex. And Rocco's getting close to this battle. It's going to be a three-way fight soon for the podium. So, Mortal ahead. Can he try and pull away? He couldn't manage it last time. I'm not sure if that's a defensive line or just because he's getting so much understeer now with the worn tyres through the long right-hander that's the line he ends up on. You can see Carter getting much better exits out of the corners. He's going to the outside again. Is he going to try and go all the way around the outside? He was thinking about it, but he couldn't manage it that time either. Ooh, bit of a twitch for Mortal. Yeah, Mortal's taking a completely different line in this penultimate corner in particular. Going super inside. Then he's going super far to the outside of the final corner. You can see there, Carter getting way closer to the apex there. He looked like he might have gone a little bit high on the exit. You can get a penalty if you go all the way over the curb. Doesn't look like he did though, and he's close in the slipstream to Mortal. He's going to be able to go to the inside. Chooses to go to the outside. Can he outbrake Mortal? No, it looks like Mortal's later on the brakes. And Mortal manages to keep the position. So good defending there from Mortal, managing to hold on to this P3. And from the looks of it, he's probably going to have to do this for 3 more laps because they've not been able to separate at all. Roscoe's on the worst tyres, actually keeping up pretty well with these guys. Ross just starting to lose a bit of performance on the hards, I think. They're almost down to that 50%. And he's still sticking with them, he's still close. But he's going to need some big penalties or some mistakes. Ooh, there was a bit of lag there from Carter. Luckily, it looks like it's just a random spike and not a consistent problem, because he's still right there on Mortal. You can see even he's struggling to get it turned a little bit now, because that rear tyre, that rear left tyre is starting to go down. It's going to give him some instability to deal with. Looks like going really high on the exit again, but he's still right in the slipstream of Mortal. He's not been able to pull away in P3. And the Rollcross looks pretty close to the back of Carter now. It's had a slight nerf to its top speed, with a little bit more weight added for the Lexus. But he's still very quick, and he's going super deep on the brakes. Can he get a switchback, maybe? Get a good exit? No, can't quite manage it. Then we've got Arias up into P8 on his soft tyres. So I don't think this two-stop strategy's really worked out. He's managed to get past Senor Fak on the hard tyres. Senor Fak would have easily been in this fight for P3, maybe even ahead of it without his spin. Arias is going to struggle a lot to make up the gap to P7 with just 2 laps left, even if he is on the soft tyres. And then we've got Spin, who's also going for the medium soft one stop in P10. At least managed to get up into P11. Probably would have been hoping for better than that, given how their season's gone so far. Pyro just lost so much time in the first stint, stuck behind Mortal. It was basically the whole stint until Mortal pitted almost that he was stuck. And he pushed his tyres a little bit too far on the first stint, I would say. And they do, Ellie just looked like there was just a mistake there from Ellie. Didn't look like there was any contact. And that's going to cost a couple of positions. And the Corvette's really struggling on this strategy. Hard, medium, medium. I'm not sure it was that necessary. I mean, look how much tyre Hasseldor's got left. And Peachy. Could have maybe gone medium, medium, soft to get more of a middle ground. But Scotty's plenty of tyres left, so's Deco. Scotty's just driven an absolutely mega race up from P8. He's got the fastest lap in the feature race as well. But just a great race. Driven away from Deco in this final stint. Deco on for a great result in P2 with a massive gap back to P3, who are still having this fight. Carter up back into P3, but he's got half a second penalty, which is going to cost him at least one position, probably two, if Morsel and Orozco's can stay this close to him. So Morsel doesn't need to go for the move here, he just needs to stay close. Is he trying for the move? I think he was just pulling out to the inside to get some clean air. And see where his braking point is. The half-second penalty for Carter does not guarantee he loses P5 to Orozco's here either. Especially because the Honda's good through this last section. And you don't have the full start line straight to lose the position. But we've got Scotty over the line, we've just missed it, but he has driven a great race to get P1. Deco, amazing race to get P2 as well. And Carter's going to lose it on the podium. Or is he? I think Morsel's just weaving across the line. Luckily, Carter was ghosted there. But Carter does manage to hold on to P4. Ross goes P5. Ross holds on to P6 on his hard tyres versus Prime Core on the mediums. Arias gets his two-stop up into P8. Sinofak, unlucky with that spin, costing him a much better position. Spin over a 10th. Throttle just manages to get Pyro on the line. And Ellie has given up, I think. It's not quite run out of fuel, not quite run out of tyres. But he's going to lose the position to Hasseldor. Not sure why, maybe there was some incident involved in there, but I'm not sure if there was or not. Peach are going to take the final position across in P15. And that is our penultimate round, and that is the Drivers' Championship for Mortal, all sewn up. Been an amazing season from Mortal. Almost had it wrapped up 2 rounds early with Ellie not racing. But didn't quite, only needed 2 points. Got it done pretty easily. And that's actually the championship for Jaguar in the Constructors as well, with Ellie not racing. Still quite close for P2. Probably going to come down to Lexus versus AMG for P2 in that. And it's quite close for P2 in the championship as well, Drivers' Championship. We've got 145 for Oscars, only 6 points behind Elian on 151. Senor in 4th, there's still an outside chance of getting to the top 3, which is what I need for him to win my predictor. So we're rooting for Senor Fak in the last round. I'm probably going to struggle in the Porsche, unfortunately. Scotty's managed to get himself up to P6 with a good fight last round. Going to struggle again at Daytona though, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make any more positions up. But yeah, that is it for Tier 2 Blue this week. Like I said, Daytona next week. Should be interesting. No championships to fight for, so it could be absolute carnage. So make sure you tune in for that. It will probably be quite early next week. Maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday next week, hopefully. So hopefully I'll see you all then.